Hello everybody, welcome to the 40th tutorial in the top-down zombie game tutorial series. And in this tutorial, we're simply going to be covering shooting. So previously we created the mouse input and blah 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 and the projectors. So yeah, let's just go ahead and start doing shooting. So first thing, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply go ahead and create a new Java package. Inside game object, and I'll simply name it weapons. And for now, I'm just going to keep things really simple, and I'll simply add another file, and I'll simply just call it gun. You might need to change a few things in the future, so yeah. Now, gun's gonna have a few. Gun's gonna have a few properties. It might have, in fact, all those other properties are not gonna matter for now. We're just simply interested in shooting. So yeah, so simply gonna add a new function. I'm now with public void shoot. And yeah, just like that. And we're gonna make this class extend to game object, and game object. We're gonna have to implement all the abstract methods. And right now we're simply going to have a projector. We're gonna have a bullet actually. Bullet. And there we go. Inside the constructor, we just want to create a default constructor, and we're just simply going to initialize the bullet. Oh, hold up, something isn't right. Okay, actually we need to create another constructor for the projector. Something like this. Change this up a bit, just collider, game object, and collisionist. Okay. So I'm gonna have to change a few things. Just copy and paste all of this here. Remove the collider. We don't need the velocity right now. We can set the speed and insert the bullet class. And we just do this. And there we go. Now, before we can actually do anything, first thing is we want to go to the scene manager. What's it called? The gameplay scene. In fact, we can just put it directly into the scene here, and we can create an array list of projectiles. So like we have an array list of game objects. Whenever we want to add a new game object, we add it to that list. We can have another array list of projectiles. So inside here, we're just gonna simply make these changes. And do the input, change this. And instead of calling it colliders, simply gonna call it projectiles. And we just need to add functions similar to add collider and remove collider. We want to add something for what is it called? The projectiles. So yeah, projectile. And instead of calling colliders.add, we're simply going to say projectiles.add, and we're simply going to add the projectile. Same thing here. And okay, we're not yet done. Okay, what we need to do right now is to simply we need to render and update the projector. So inside the render function, I'm just going to copy this. Game objects to get replace this with projectors, because I want to render every single projector. And after projectors, so okay, after doing this, we also want to call the update function. We want to update them, and projectors to get i.update object instead. And we're going to remove that. And I think it's set for now. And now inside the gun function, we also want to be able to take on a scene. So now since what's it called? A bullet's also going to be a game object or a projector, we want to be able to add scene. We want to be able to take in a scene. So yeah. Okay, and there's this public game object scene. Okay, we're gonna take in a scene. So we're gonna go into the bullet and do the refactoring. So before doing anything, we're gonna take in a scene. And import the scene, and I'm just going to pass it down here. So I'll go to the projector class and make sure this takes a scene. And there we go. So we have the scene, and we just need to super the scene. Sorry, I forgot about that. And here we just simply want to say super, so we don't get a null pointer. There we go. And one more thing is that also gonna have to do the same thing for bullet for the gun class. So we're just gonna take in a scene, add an import, and call super scene. Okay, let me remove this. And there we go. Now what we can do is inside here, inside the shooting method, what I can simply do is go fetch this scene. Remember, we created a function called add projectors inside here. Okay, it shouldn't be collider, it should actually be projectile really. Projectile, there we go. And here, we just need to refactor these. So that way we can directly add projectiles from here to the what is it called? To the scene that we're currently in. So what I simply do is when we press the shoot, we want to say scene.add projectile. Add projectile bullet. Okay, now a few things. Bullet's missing a few things. Okay, it's missing. Okay, we need to have this constructor. Okay, so let's go to that. Let's go to the gun and use the other constructor. So we're going to take in the scene, damage, direction, and speed. There we go. So instead of doing this here, we want to remove all of this. And we want to paste it inside here. Okay, let me remove the semicolon. There we go. And what am I doing? Okay, let's go to bullet. So we're gonna need a damage, a direction, and a speed. So a damage. Okay, we need to create that. Float damage is equal to, let's just give it a 10. This is just a default value. Float speed is equal to, let's just give it a 50. And direction. And you create a vector too. I think all game objects have a direction, I don't know. First of all, here I want to just pass in the damage. And here I want to pass in the direction. Okay, looks like we don't have a direction. Okay, we only have a position. Okay, cool. So I need to create a new vector for direction. And we want to pass in the direction. And we just create a function to set the direction and we're good to go. So what happens now is we can go into the player class. Oh, actually this isn't, okay, why am I having an error here? I don't know. First of all, we're in the wrong package. It should be inside the weapons package. Weapons, actually. Now, one more thing is that let's go to the bullet actually and fix a few things. So when we update the bullet, what we want to do is to simply, inside the update, what we want to do is to, let's say, move the bullet. So we're simply gonna say, what's the math? How do you move stuff again? Position equal to position dot add direction dot normalize dot multiply dot scale speed. And I think that's about it for now inside the update method. And inside the render, we want to say renderer dot draw rect position int. Okay, width. Let's give this a width of 5 and 5 pretty much, yeah. Now that is done, we can simply do it. Okay, we can add it to the player. So we can add the gun to the player. So what we want to do is inside here, we can simply create a new gun object. Gun, I was simply gonna call it gun, pistol, whatever. Import gun. And inside the initialize method, what I want to do is to initialize the gun. Gun is equal to new gun. It's going to take in a scene. Okay, cool. What do you mean local variable? Oh, it's actually a pistol. Okay, I named it as pistol. So inside the update, we want to manage. Okay, we're going to create a new function to manage the shooting. So simply name it void manage shooting. And what we simply do here is to simply what am I doing? Okay, so what are we simply doing here is we're going to be pretty much managing the shooting. So I simply say if input manager dot get mouse button pressed, get the get mouse key pressed. Wait, hold up. Something doesn't seem right. Okay, dot is mouse first pressed. Okay, we need to use that one instead. So is dot is mouse first pressed string key. We're looking for the left key, right? So left, I think that should be good. Now what we want to simply say is to say pistol.shoot. That should be done, but not quite yet. So we simply need to say manage shooting. Not only that, we need to set the direction of the what is it called, of the mouse. So what we can simply do is simply say manage shooting. No, not manage shooting. We can simply say pistol.set direction, pistol.set direction to direction, just for now, and let's see what's happening. So now when we press play and test this thing out, okay, other thing is we need to set the position of the what is it called, the initial position of the bullet. So yeah, I totally forgot about that. So here what we want to add is to add another, what's it called, another vector 2f for the position. 2f, I'll call it start position. And what we simply say, we're going to say game position is equal to start position. There we go. And I think that should be fine-ish for now. Seems to be an error in gun. What's happening? Okay, okay. And okay, we need to set the position here as well. So I'm gonna pass in the position. And here we need to create a set position. There we go. And inside the player, what we also need to say is to simply say pistol.set position to position. Okay, still something isn't right. Okay, I figured out what the problem was. It's that, okay, it's not left, it's actually called left mouse. So I'm going to go back to the player and rename this to manage shooting, and instead of calling it left, I say left mouse. And in fact, let me move all of this stuff from there to manage shooting. Left mouse, there we go. Now when we run this, it should at least give something. Okay, there's an error. Now pointer cannot invoke because this renderer is now, wow. So let's go fix this. So inside game object we have a renderer. So we actually need to be using this constructor instead of the other one. So let's go. And let me go to Projector. And instead of calling this, we want to call this position. And what else? Let me go back to the game. We want to position, width, and height. Okay. Projector, width, and height. And we just need to set the width and height. Okay, so I need to create float width and a float height. We also need to take, okay, we also need to do vector 2 of position. So now it's happy. Now the projector is happy. We just need to change a few things inside the build constructor. So we need to pass in a position as well. So we're going to pass in a start position. We want to remove this. Direction, speed, and the width and the height. Speed, width, and height. Okay. So we're just going to pass in this and with the width and height. Okay, width and height, we're just going to simply pass in a 5 and a 5. Now hopefully this should work. Okay, as you can see, when we shoot, we can shoot right now. We're only shooting the direction that we're currently moving in. If you can see the bullet, actually let me just slow down the speed for the bullet actually. So let's go to the gun and reduce the speed to something more visible, like 5. And when we run this, okay, why is the speed not reducing? I don't know. Same position, direction. Oh, no, wait, it should be actually speed. As you can see, now I can see the bullets. But one thing is, the bullets are not going in the correct direction. So all we need to do is to fix that. So let's go and fix that. So what we're going to simply do is to enter the player class, and this is where we need to get tricky. So I need to actually go to the input manager, and we also need to be able to get the position. We need to get the mouse X. Okay, we already have mouse. Okay, get mouse X and get mouse Y. There we go. So we're simply going to go back to the player. In fact, let me go to the bullet and remove this wall. Okay, remove that wall, and we simply want to go back to the player. And okay, I managed to fix the error. There's just a small, no, okay, it wasn't a small error. NetBeans has a problem with its cache, so I had to clear the cache. Anyways, so yeah, let's go back to the tutorial. So where were we? Bullet. No, we're in the player. So yeah. So we were testing this out. So we want to run this. Okay, so it kind of does work. So what we want to do is to simply get the direction between the player and the mouse. So what we want to do is to simply say vector 2 mouse is equal to new vector 2f, and we're simply going to put in mouse input manager dot mouse x, input input manager dot get mouse X and input manager dot get mouse Y. So that will be giving me my X and Y pretty much. Now I need to get so that will give me the position of the mouse. Now what I need to get is to get my X and Y positions on screen. So I need to go to so I need to check what I did in the renderer. Okay, actually I need to know what I did in the renderer because I actually forgot. This project, it's been ongoing for a very long while. Okay, so let's go. So we calculate the X offset and the Y offset. Okay, so it's the X offset and the Y offset. So what I'm simply going to do is I'm going to copy this and I'm going to go back to the player and in fact I should actually make it a function set game object. Public vector to F. I'll simply call it get position on screen. Position get on screen coordinates. And we simply want to paste this. It should be a float. Oh, we actually can't do this. Unless we use a camera. Okay. So I'm just going to put a camera. Let's import this. Camera. And what we want to do is simply return a new vector. And we're simply going to return X offset and Y offset. And yeah, I think we're good to go. So what we simply, after doing this, we're after getting the on-screen coordinates, we can simply go back to the player. And in fact, let me go back to the renderer. I want to make the camera, okay, the camera is public. So we go to the player. And yeah, so what we want to do to get the direction is we want to get the direction of the mouse minus the, yeah, mouse minus, what is it called? Minus our position. So shoot direction is going to equal to mouse dot subtract dot sub get on-screen coordinates. I'm going to simply say render dot camera. Actually, I don't need to put this in as a parameter inside here because we have access to the renderer. So it's simply going to say camera is equal to render.camera. And I can actually remove this and put a semicolon at the end, and we're good. Now instead of saying set direction to direction, we can simply say set direction to shoot direction. And we can go back to the gun and bump up the speed a little bit, make it something like 15. And let's try this out. As you can see now, we're shooting the gun in the direction that we're pointing it. It's just that we need to fix the rotation of the player a bit. Yeah, we're gonna do that later, some other day. But pretty much, yeah, this is it for this tutorial. So yeah, actually I'm gonna add one more thing. And in the renderer, we want to be able to, you know, instead of just having to draw a rect, we might want to fill a rect, pretty much. So paste, instead of calling this draw, I want to name it fill. And inside the fill, we just simply, instead of calling it draw rect, we want to call fill rect. Actually, this seems to be a lot of work. Nah, actually, it doesn't really matter. I already did it anyways. So, and then inside the bullet class, we can simply, instead of calling draw, we can simply call fill. There we go. So we made shooting possible. So this is shooting pretty much. By the way, this is, what is it called? It's semi-automatic shooting. So in the next tutorial, we're going to be looking at full automatic shooting and all of that. Yeah, guys. So that's it for the video, guys. So peace.